Anyways, Baptism of Fire. It was so good. Notice Yuna's little chew marks. I'm gonna repeat this because I wasn't recording for YouTube, but this one I gave 5 stars. The other 2 novels I gave 4 stars. And the short stories I gave 5, just because for me this one felt like it was just so interesting, and there were twisties and turnies, and we met Zoltan. Remember that? You meet Zoltan, which is a huge reason why I liked this so much. And I think I dog-eared when you meet Zoltan. It was so cute. Like, his intro is adorable. I want to go in the game and hug him. Again, this is going to be really all over the place because I didn't write notes for this book, but hopefully I remember everything I have to say. Mama na bada boo. Oh, I dog-eared this quote and I thought it was pretty cool. I just thought it was a really, really good writing and really cool. So it's Ethne talking to Milva, which we met Milva in this book, and she's amazing. She's literally the best archer ever. Like, she's the best. Period. The end. Which I think is awesome. Like, no one compares. And she's half dryad, half human, I think. Or, yeah. Or half regular elf. I don't remember. But Ithne says she's talking to Maria / Milva. She's very sassy. I love her. Everyone has some kind of debt, such as life. Debts and liabilities, obligations, gratitude, payments, doing something for someone, or perhaps for ourselves. For in fact, we are always paying ourselves back and not someone else. Each time we are indebted, we pay off the debt to ourselves. In each of us lies a creditor and a debtor at once, and the art is for the reckoning to tally inside us. We enter the world as a minute part of the life we are given, and from then on we are ever paying off debts to ourselves for ourselves in order for the final reckoning to tally. Hi, Sylvia. Human, right? No, I think, oh yeah. Okay. But yeah, I just really like that because it's true. It's not like, and the whole book, there's the motif of like owing someone something, especially with Milva and Geralt. And it's more like you're doing it for yourself rather than, oh, Kair too. Kair's in this one. Oh my God, this this book is so good. The crew is so good. But I loved Milva. And to kind of skip to what you find out at the end, the whole time that she's with Geralt and Dandelion and Kair at the end and Regis and Zoltan and the other dwarves and stuff, she's pretty much pregnant the whole time. And she wanted the baby. I thought when she said she was pregnant, which I had no idea that she was, I thought maybe it was due to like the R word or SA, but she thought she was gonna die that night and made the choice to do it. And then she had a miscarriage, which was really sad. Sorry, I'm skipping around a lot. But she has a miscarriage, and for me, it was sad, but also the way that Regis helped her with that was so... It's literally like this huge battle, and Regis is just like, I got her. And I trust him so much. Guys, I love Regis so much. I'm gonna cry. I love him, and he's a literal monster. Like, Geralt has, up until this point, you know, well, he was kind of friends with the dragon, but he has non-human friends and other races and sorceresses. But I feel like this is one of the first... Okay, go off, I guess. Thunder. Oh my God. Anyways, Jahiz, yes. Ooh, nice thunder. I know he was like embarrassed when he found out he was a vampire, but we're gonna keep partying until it, I don't know, shuts our power off. But that's like his first like real monster friend. I know he has the Doppler and he has other monster friends, but like legit higher vampire, like his bestie. And I love his personality so much. I love him so much. Hi, Unifex. The gods have spoken. Thunder approves of rages. Exactly. Yeah. So then what else? What else? What else? I don't have as many dog-eared pages, so. Oh, and we got to see the Sorceress's Lodge in action. Woo! Guess what? I'm not a Sorceress's Lodge stan, okay? So before anyone comes at me, because last video I said, I love the rats. And then people were like, I hate the rats. And I was like, okay. I'll watch what I say. I think the Sorceress's Lodge is so fucking funny and interesting. So there's that. I don't agree with everything they do, but I think they're funny. Okay. I love Geralt's mood in this book. Yeah. And you know, when people were complaining, you know, and saying like, yeah, I hate the rats, they're terrible, whatever. Okay, I'll wait to say this. Yes, the last rats. Sorry, I just love rebellious teens. And guess what? I loved The Outsiders growing up. What else? There's just in times of strife and war, this is what happens. Like kids, kind of Les Mis, gangs of kids form, and they can sometimes murder people. They rob, they do this and this and this. Although I did not see in this book, I did not see much just murdering for fun. I don't really know why people were so... Guys, people on my YouTube, they hate the rats. And like the comments got a bunch of likes. So I feel really nervous to even say anything good about them. You can love how they are written and aspects of their character, but not agree with their morals. Exactly, Roche. Hey, Mickey. Sorry for the cough. Exactly. And you know, I really do like young people taking care of each other. There's a bond there. Guys, I'm playing Mafia right now. And Tommy, who's the protagonist, does some fucked up shit, okay? You have to do just fucked up shit as him. And there's still, you can still admire the loyalty and the brotherhood that they have and like the way that they look out for each other, but still be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have murdered all those people, you know? So I'm gonna keep going. What is this about? Just about how I appreciate the rats and I like serious time with the rats. And yeah, I'm gonna get into something else too, but I'm gonna see if I get there with the dog-eared pages. Oh, I love okay, so we're talking about the Sorcerer's Lodge. It's like groups of people or like organizations that you don't agree with their morals, but you know, the Sorceress's Lodge, I know what happens. I played Witcher 2, okay? I don't agree with killing all the kings, but I think it's hilarious that Philippa puts this together and they all agree there can only be women because men are too emotional. It's just it's so funny. Like, as women, we hear that all the time that we're too emotional. We couldn't be president because what happens when we're on our period and like this, we're hysterical, da 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 da. And like, it's really cool to see them just genuinely be like, we can't have men here because they often act irrationally and we can only trust ourselves. Men are physically... Okay, so Sabrina says this. Men are psychologically unstable, too prone to emotions, not to be relied upon in moments of crisis. And Margarita goes, that's right. And she like, they have evidence of that.
Guess who's 1 year older today? Kappa HD Kappa
Well, no
HD.
regicide has happened yet, supposedly. They're doing it for the sake of magic. Galactic, thank you so much for the 100 bits. You're so sweet. Thank you. And they're fucking hilarious. Like, to think that Sapkowski wrote these and they are so, like, it's so funny. Galactic, happy birthday. Happy birthday. To be fair, most sorceresses don't have a period. Well, that's true. But I will say, it doesn't really make you... Just please don't subscribe to the stigma, especially if you don't have a uterus, of like, if they're on their blood, then they're emotional, because we're sick of that. And it's sexist. Okay, anyways. Oh, I did not dog ear much. I think it applies to people who do/don't have a uterus and menstruate. Hey Dan, how you doing? Yeah, Philippa gives me Morgan vibes, right? If Morgan was a little bit more power hungry, you know, for sure. Let me see. Oh, Zoltan's introduction. It's so cute. I love how he's introduced and they hear singing. Like, it's him and Milva and Dandelion, and they're in the forest and they hear singing and they're like, what the hell is happening? Like, who's singing during wartime? And it's Zoltan and his dwarves, and he always is toting some women and children too. And he's just like, I can't leave them. We found them. I can't leave them. But like, all the loot he has was stolen. So it's just like, Zoltan isn't a perfect character either, but I just love him so much. I love him. And then him and Dandelion get along immediately. Immediately. It's bold of you to be marching along the highway singing as you go. I don't reckon, the dwarf said, wiggling his beard, that weeping as we go would be any better. It's so cute. I love it. I love him. So intelligent and hilarious. Yes. And I think my problem is, I know I'll get a lot of shit for this, but if you love Dijkstra, but you don't love Philippa, like if you stan Dijkstra, but then you have such a problem with Philippa, then I don't get that. That's something I don't understand, because I think they're very similar in a lot of ways. They're very smart, and they complement each other. Complement with an E. Zoltan is perfect, take it back. They're all morally gray, and that's what I love about this book. Even Ciri. We can, if you're looking at her through Geralt's eyes of being, or Yen's eyes of like a parent, and then yes, she's perfect. But I love how all of the characters are morally Yes, exactly, Roche. I think we agree about a lot of stuff, which I like. I don't know. I don't care. I like having conversations with people that are, you know, respectful, but it's nice when like a big fan of The Witcher has the same views as me. Didn't DJ and they were both the same, both bond for a while? Is DJ Dijkstra? Yeah, different political views. Exactly. I'm so glad y'all agree with me on that, because I see a few, maybe that it just sticks with me. Hi, Noonie. Oh, it's a meme from Gwent. Oh. Maybe it just sticks with me more, the comments that are like, I hate Philippa. It's like people feel very strongly. Hi, puppy. Are you chewing your bone? Yuna's giving me Dijkstra vibes right now. Hey, Tito. You're giving me Dijkstra vibes. You're very wise. She's a good girl. Are you scared of the thunder a little bit? It's okay. It's a good girl. It's a good girl. Lady Crazy Nut!
Hi Meg. I'm so sorry I missed your last stream. I didn't saw the notification.
Dijkstra
It is
never
so good to see you
manipulated
better.
someone. Oh,
How
it's
are
actually,
you
I
and
think he
Kayla?
has. Lady Crazy Nut, I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you for the 3 months. No, you have nothing to apologize for. They do know everything and they help each other out. Dijkstra, I think, I can't think of a specific time, but he's definitely used people as pawns. The Master of Spies. Yeah. I think they use people as pawns. Both Philippa and Dijkstra. Siri was there. Siri, who are you fighting? Hopefully Brian Kemp. Dijkstra's profession, yeah. Chupacabra, hi! Welcome! Yeah. Oh, this is a quote from Zoltan. Unbridled altruism is a huge vice of mine. I simply have to do good. I am a sensible dwarf, however, and know that I'm unable to do everyone good. I want this tattooed on my body. Were I able to attempt to be good to everyone, to the entire world, and to all the creatures living in it, it would be a drop of fresh water in a salt sea. In other words, a wasted effort. Thus, I decided to do specific good. Good which would not go to waste. I'm good to myself
Meg,
and
glad
to
see
my
you're feeling
immediate
better.
circle.
Hope Una is too.
I'm good to myself and my immediate circle. I fucking love that. Revan, thank you so much for the 4 months. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that was probably my favorite battle so far, Zurok. It was just very complicated. Very, very complicated.
Witcher things, let's go.
Let's go. He's like my favorite fantasy writer. I'm sorry, but like, I love how he writes women. I love how he writes these good characters, but then like the best ones are the ones that are just trying to do good for the people right in front of them. And to me, that's I feel like I'm pretty self-aware and I'm such a people pleaser and I'm trying to get away from that. And so to read a quote like that is so validating, and it just kind of like reminds me, okay, you can't fucking change the world. You can't make everyone happy. You can make yourself happy and then also protect the ones around you and the ones that you vibe with and stuff. So I loved that. Euphoric, it's good to see you. Thank you for the 11 months. Siri and Missile's relationship. Hey, Master of Gwent. I'll get to that in a second. I'm gonna tell y'all I'm nervous to talk about it. I'm a little nervous because people reacted really strongly. I was mostly excited that she was queer. I don't think that their relationship started in a healthy way at all. But I also don't believe that she has Stockholm syndrome and is actually not bi. I don't believe that at all. And I think that's a little bit biphobic and homophobic. Anyways, people actually, they say that and they believe it. Anyways, also she's dead. So I read the beginning of Tower of Swallows. She's dead. And why are we being so mean? Meg Reacts, thank you for the brand new sub. Thank you. But we'll get more to that because I think sorry. I love that Zoltan plays cards with his dwarves. I love, there's a quote, I don't know why I dog-eared this. But like, I love that Geralt's talking to Dandelion and everyone, he's like, I don't have a company. I don't have one, and I don't want to have one. I don't need one. Do you get it? And Melba's just like, yeah, of course. You don't need anyone. You show it often. And he's just like, I don't need anyone. Bah, bah, bah. And it's like, you literally have the best people around you. Yes, Rages. Their relationship is so complex, but there's no way that genuine love wasn't the strongest emotion there. I do really dislike how Missile started off the relationship, though. Same, Roche. You put it in a beautiful way. I totally agree. Wind's howling. It's like when Geralt's like in the middle of a storm and he's like, oh, it's raining. Wind's howling. Yeah, just a little bit. I totally agree with that. So I want to, and I also just want to, let me just talk because I think I got through most of the dog years for the first part, or like most of the book. The first time that you hear of Ciri and Missile, I don't know if I'm switching these. There are two instances that you hear of them. Thanks. And the rats. Unifex, thank you for the 69 bits. Yeah, she's bi, absolutely. I know, same, Mouse. That's what I did. I'm so glad we're like-minded, but that's exactly what I did. I fucking opened it, read 50 pages, and was like, what the hell is even that? I was like, are you kidding me? Ciri's face is smashed in by fucking Tawny Owl, which I thought was a potion. And then all her friends are dead. And you know what? Yeah, Kaylee can rest in poo-poo pee-pee. I hate Kaylee, but those were her friends. That was her love. It's sad. So the first two times you hear of the rats in this book, the first, correct me if I'm wrong, is they go to a pub and people recognize them and they are dancing. And Ciri gets up and she's dancing on a table and she's happy. And she's not even dancing with Missile. She's dancing with Iskra, I think. And she's just like, I've never seen or read about her being so free. And it was like fire. And it reminded me of how she summoned Falca. And she's calling herself Falca. Her great grandma. When she did fire magic. But like the thing about that is, I don't know how you can look at that and be like, oh, woman is going down dark path. She is going down dark path. The rats put her down dark path. Because I'm like, no. First of all, she's been destined to go down a dark path because she fucking has elder blood. Second of all, watch The Witch. It's a movie with Anya Taylor-Joy, and it's so good. And it kind of goes into like women not hiding anymore and accepting their power and being free and dancing and cackling and, you know, maybe murdering someone. But what I also was going to say is the second time you read about the rats, her and Missile and the rest of them are walking through a town. Ciri's eating fucking cotton candy. And they're being cute and they're holding hands. This guy with a bunch of his friends is just like, hey, and he's super fucking homophobic, so trigger warning. He's like, oh, I've heard about you. You just need a good fuck from a man to get this kink out of your brain or whatever. Like, and he's antagonizing her and he's just like, you just need a man. I can do that for you. And she's a teenager, mind you, and with her girlfriend, and she kills him. And I guess that's what people really hate about the rats. And guess what the rats do, guys? The leader of the rats, I forget his name. They tell Ciri to stop because she's going to go kill the rest of them. And he's like, they clean up her mess. He's like, how much do we have to pay you for this lard. Like, how we'll pay you for his life, and we just won't speak of this again. And his friends literally are just like, yep, that sounds good. Give us like this amount, because he sucks. And yes, she murdered someone. Yes, Geralt wouldn't be happy about that. And then she goes and keeps eating cotton candy. And it's like, how are you getting from this that the rats are terrible, the rats sent her down this path, when she was destined to go through shit, okay? And her whole life she's been protected and hidden away, and like Yennefer has told her to be, you know, rightfully so, be careful, be so careful, don't touch fire magic. And then she goes through this horrible traumatizing experience in the desert, and the only way she survives is through fire magic. And afterwards she's feeling empty, like she's feeling exhausted and totally spent. And so she gets welcomed in to other young people. She hasn't had friends. She hasn't had friends. These are like the first people her age that she can relate to. Yes, Bomba, I think that has to do with Misshole. While I dislike the rats, they are just a product of the environment they were forced to be in. Right. Murdering homophobes, just girly things. Yeah. And they were like, stop, Siri, stop. So I do not agree at all that they were the reason for Ciri's dark path. Like, I feel like if you say that, if you say the rats led her that way and they're the cause, it's just not true. You are ignoring all of the trauma she's had to go through, literally right at the end of the last book. And also, I would invite you to really think about your favorite female characters and the ones you don't like, and think about, like, are you just calling them toxic? Are you just calling them bad? When sometimes you got to, in order for Ciri to become who she is, because I know how she ends up in The Witcher 3, even though it's not canon, like, technically, she's gonna level out, but she has to go on the opposite side a little bit. She has to kind of lean into the darkness. And then also people bring up, well, Ciri says, I'm just with you because I don't want to be alone. And she does say that. That's immediately after she kills that guy for being homophobic. And as a queer person, there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of like guilt. And I think she just said that. I didn't believe it at all. I didn't believe it at all. Especially with how fucking depressed she is when they die. If she stayed with them forever, she would have lost her sense of morality. It felt to me like she was killing senselessly. Yeah, and they noticed that. They noticed that. They said, like, even Missile was like, I've seen how you enjoy killing them. And it's more intense than the rest of them. Yes, Ciri was deprived of a childhood with friends her age. He wouldn't want to change that because he loves her for who she is. Exactly. And Kair and Geralt are having dreams about her. And they're having dreams about her laughing and dancing. And it makes Geralt grumpy. And like, it makes him like sulk and grumpy. So she's just like, it's like being a teenager, but times a million, and like including murder. But it's not to say that like I agree with it or whatever. She felt abandoned. She didn't know if Geralt and Yen were even alive, which is really sad. But I enjoyed this part of her character. And, you know, as a woman, it's just validating to see this protagonist go to the dark side. Be gay, do crime. Hee. Yeah. And then Rageous, I was like a little sus of him, but I didn't suspect he was a vampire. And then I started to kind of predict when they mentioned vampires, And I was like, that could be a vampire. And I love the reveal, which just like, Geralt goes up to him and he's just like, you don't have a shadow. And they're all standing and they're like, yeah. And Geralt is like, I should probably kill you. And then Ray just like, then do it. And he doesn't. And he's just like saving Dandelion. That is the best scene ever, Master of Gwen. Literally, that was the cutest, most heartwarming scene ever. So I think he's grumpy because Kair is there and Regis is there. But I love Kair, and the show did him so dirty, guys. The show did Kair so dirty. But finally they just talked man to man because he saved Milva's life. And Milva's like, you need to get the fuck over this because this man really wants to help. He saved my life. He's saving all of our lives. And like, you just got to talk it out. And they do. And then it's right after he has allowed him into the party, but he's grumpy about it. And then Frey just materializes and Geralt's like, get out. He's just like, I have to change Dandelion's dressings, and just like, okay, go cook this. And they're all like making fish soup, and Kair's like, I found this big fish, and Geralt's just like huffing and puffing and being all grumpy, and Regis is just like, Geralt, can you please skin the fish? It's the best scene ever. It's so good. Her elder blood phase. Yes, I love that. I love that. It's true. She has to kind of lean in. She's gotta acknowledge that side of herself. Yeah, he's a witcher, but he's now friends with this vampire. Yeah. And then, you know, they kind of accept him. I love that Milva and Dandelion, when he confirms that he's a vampire, they don't even know that he doesn't drink blood. But they're just like, well, he saved our lives. So like, we can't, what the frick? And then Geralt sends him away and they're like, come on, Geralt. Like, what the fuck? Like, you could have let him stay. But he just I love that Kair is also just like following them. It's so cute. Vampire BFFs are the best BFFs. Yes, he's like, I am Regis Amelia Shuba Ba Ba, and I am almost 5 centuries old. And then I love too that when he's explaining being a higher vampire, I'm like, move over, Twilight, move over this and this. Like, it's so cool. I love that drinking blood is more like alcohol, like it's a recreational thing. And then he just has not drank blood in however long. And it was because he really fucked up. And I think his story is very believable. And then it takes away he's probably smelling blood and he wants it so bad. Because no, it's I would assume like alcohol or like an addiction, like it makes you feel good. It's the way that they party and it's the culture. But it makes it more believable that he can just exist and not drink blood, and he doesn't have to hunt for animal blood or blee 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 blee. Hey Bats, I love him so much. Emil Regis Shuba Baba. I don't know. I didn't play the Witcher one. Yes, and the fact that he was like a young man vampire and they were just like flying around and partying and he was a rebellious, like, it's just so cool. Exactly, Jay Fuentes, exactly. That's very true. When Dandelion is just like, hey, I'm kind of nervous. Me and Milva have been talking and we're kind of nervous about Regis. Like, will he turn on us and eat us? And Geralt's like, don't say anything, you dumb shit. And then Dandelion goes up to him and he's just like, hey, I really want some meat. Anyone want some meat? Regis, do you want some meat? Oh, and you know what? I would love some blood, like some blood. What about you, Regis? You want some blood? And Regis is like, no. And then he's just like, okay, it's time, I'll tell you. And Geralt's like, don't listen to Dandelion, he's an idiot. There's a line in Witcher 1, Dandelion mentions to Geralt he had a vampire friend, and Geralt is like, that's bullshit. Well, it's not true because because he lost his memory. Oh, I fucking love Dandelion. I love him so much. And he gets them out of shit. And you remember when they're in the town and they see this woman being almost burned to the stake because they called her a witch. And the priest is just like, well, someone can go by trial and pick up this flaming horseshoe and then you throw it down and then she won't be burned. And Zoltan and Geralt are just like freaking out because they're like, how do we save her? How do we do this? Milva's about to kill fucking everyone because she's just like so pissed. And then Rages just goes and picks it up and just like throws it at him. And he's like, there, she's safe. Bruh, I'm vegetarian and I am fucking scared of him. There's no need for us to have sex because we can't reproduce. And Geralt mutters, speak for yourself. Yes, I remember that. I remember that. And literally, Rages is like, Dandelion, if you want blood, go get some blood. Why are you doing this? Oh, I also want to point out this. I can already see how Sapkowski is pro-choice. I love it. It seems, while I feel like we're all educated and smart in this community, and progressive, even though it's just basic rights for people with uteruses, I love when they find out that Milva is pregnant and she asks Rages for the decoction. And it's not really about morally, should she use the decoction to get rid of the baby? It's like, what is safest for her and what's in her best interest? And I love that Kair goes, in Nilfgaard, Kair said, blushing and lowering his head, the woman decides. No one has the right to influence her decision. Rages said that Milva is certain she wants the medicament. Only for that reason, absolutely only for that reason, have I begun, in spite of myself, to think of it as an established fact and to think about the consequences. But I'm a foreigner who doesn't know. I ought not to get involved. I apologize. And then Dandelion goes, what for? Do you think we're savages, Nilfgaardian primitive tribes obeying some sort of shamanic taboo? It's obvious that only the woman can make a decision like that. It's her inalienable right. If Milva decides to, and then Geralt's just like, shut up, please, shut up. I know, Malice, it sucks. It's so stupid. And then he goes, you don't agree? The poet said, losing his temper. Are you planning to forbid her? And he's just like, literally shut your mouth. And he's just like, it's not about that. Shut the fuck up, Dandelion. This is not about preaching. Me too, Master Glenn. Sorcerers like Yen often were asked to perform magic abortions to ladies in the court. We love to see it. And they were just trying to decide because like at 10 weeks, that's not easy. That is not easy. So she would have to like have a bed, clean sheets. She would have to be in an inn, and then Geralt talks to her, and her reasoning for wanting to have an abortion was because she wanted to help Geralt with Ciri. And she thought that would be like a one-in-one thing, that like she could have the abortion and then help save Ciri and get Geralt with Ciri. And Geralt's just like, I can't really let you do that. If that's your reasoning, then I can't give you my blessing for that. And the thing is too, she didn't get pregnant through sexual assault. She chose to, because she thought that she was going to, she thought she was going to die. Right, Charlie, it's sad. But I love that it's just like, like it's known, like it the woman decides. Even Nilfgaard, it's like in Nilfgaard the woman decides. There's no no one can really tell her any differently. And it's like, oh, imagine, even in this fucking fantasy world that's based on centuries ago, the woman can decide. And then I'm living in Georgia and it's the 6-week heartbeat bill. Anyways, I loved Geralt and Zoltan's goodbye. It was the most romantic thing. Literally, I didn't even read anything as romantic between Geralt and Yen than Geralt and Zoltan. So they think they're going to say goodbye forever. And Geralt goes, farewell, Zoltan. Perhaps the forces, the existence of which I'm slowly becoming convinced about, will permit us to meet again one day. I hope our paths cross again. I'd like to introduce Ciri to you. I'd like her to meet you. But even if it never happens, know that I won't forget you. It's so cute. And he's like, will you shake my hand, me, a thief and a thug, without hesitation? Because I'm not as easy to deceive as I once was. Although I don't inquire into people's motives, I'm slowly learning the art of looking beneath masks. It's so fucking cute. And he gives him the sword. He gives him his sword. And he's just like, I need you to know I robbed those people. Don't think I'm a perfect person. Stepmom for Ciri, yeah. And he loves her. When you use the blade to slaughter your Ciri's persecutors, take one down for Caleb Stratton because he died. One of his dwarves died. And remember Zoltan Chevet and the dwarven forges. You can be certain I'll remember in this rotten world, Zoltan. Goodness, honesty, integrity become deeply engraved in the memory. They're so cute. They're so cute. And then, okay, so this will be the last that I say because we got to play the game. But I loved just like, it was just such a good book. Like the whole idea of I pressed a button. Here we go. The whole idea of baptism by fire, and Ray just calls out Geralt for this baptism of fire because that's when Geralt's like, I'm gonna go alone. I don't want anyone to follow me. I don't want anyone to help me because I'm gonna do this on my own. And Ray is just like, what are you doing? You want to go alone because you want this baptism of fire. You want to cleanse your sins. And no one can get involved because they might get burned and you're just wallowing when you won't accept help. I thought this was a book child. No, yeah. Yes, Jay Fuentes. Well, it's also just, I love that he's not afraid to write such deep male friendships. I think that's so feminist. I think that's so important to show male friendships where they hug and they talk like that. Like they say, I love you, I admire you, you're a good person. Because in a lot of Western culture, it's like, be a man and like, don't hug your bro. Like, no, you do a fist bump and you make fun of him and you boo-boo. Bro. And it's like, no. They love each other. Anyways, I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. And I'm really depressed about Leo Bonhart can eat Yuna's farts. Leo Bonhart can eat Yuna's farts. Tawny Owl, I'm gonna stick a nowl up your butt. Just kidding. Anyways, thanks for coming to my book talk. Hugging and fist bumping are awesome. Yes. Okay, I thought I was going to talk for long, but I talked for an hour. Love that for me. Sorry, besties.